It's time for the headlines segment. In the headlines segment, what we do is we try to look ahead to see what we think the headlines might be in tomorrow morning's paper. The first one, Grayson Trammell for Shelbyville. He passed tonight for, we were told, a school record or a state record, 617 yards passing. Shelbyville does lose to Summit, but 617 passing yards for the Shelbyville quarterback. That's huge.
That's a big.
That's unbelievable. You got one?
Well, I'm going to say that the one of the headlines, at least over in Chapel Hill, is going to be that the Rockets rolled on senior night.
Yeah.
They rolled up a nice win tonight, defeating Loretto, and Loretto is a good team. They're a good team. They've got a good record, and Forest needed a win, and they're trying to get in a playoff hunt. They were talking about that on the broadcast. They got a ways to go, and they got to win out, but they're not giving up.
There's a lot of players that had huge games. Jarius Johnson for Franklin County had 5 touchdowns on the night. Franklin County had over 500 yards of total offense. Unfortunately, they took on a Columbia team that had close to 600 yards, 570 or something like that, yards of total offense. What a shootout between Columbia and Columbia and Franklin County in Columbia. Maurice Patton on Twitter says it's the damnedest game he's ever seen in his life.
I think that 1,000-yard of offense in a game, that's going to be a headline.
That will be a headline. Running back Cameron Liggett of Marshall County had 5 rushing touchdowns tonight. That's a big night for him. Marshall County gets a 48-28 win over Giles County in a rivalry game. Again, those two just hate each other.
They really do.
They hate each other. I mean,
and apparently the crowd there was really packed. I was listening to the broadcast from the Giles County radio station, and apparently during halftime there was an attempt to make it to the restroom. He said that Moses would have had an easier time parting the Red Sea trying to work through the crowd, and I believe he just gave up.
And they do a great job.
Apparently that place was rocking.
Part of the Exports Radio Network and part of the Friday Night Thunder Radio Network. Wade Neely with the WKSR. Knoxville Webb got a 40-13 win over Boyd Buchanan tonight. What's big about that? It's win number 399 in the program's history. That's a lot of wins.
That's a lot of wins.
That's a huge number of wins. Whitwell is now 7-0. They got a 17-14 win over Trousdale County tonight. They kicked a field goal as time expired. Whitwell had 2 players, I think it's 2, may have been more, suspended for a hazing incident, but they still get the win against Trousdale County. Congratulations to Whitwell.
Especially with the time expiring. Yeah, that would have had to been pretty exciting there in that stadium.
Yeah,
for sure.
And I cannot imagine.
That's why you don't go home early.
Right.
I don't care if you want to beat the traffic out of the parking lot. Don't go home early.
Walker Valley's Zeke Westfield rushed for over 300 yards tonight. Walker Valley got a big win tonight. Congratulations to them. The Morristown West John Forback threw for 150 yards. He just got back from an injury. Here's the important stat in that game. They defeated Jefferson County. The Trojans were 11 of 15 on third down. Third down conversions meant the difference tonight as Morristown West gets a huge region win at Jeff County tonight. Macon County is for real. Macon County has got seven wins on the year, I think. The Macon County got 3 touchdowns, 3 scores from Carlisle, and I'm sorry I'm going to miss his name there, but they get a huge night from him, and it's one of those things where Macon County has not had a lot of success. It's been one of those things that's been an incubator for young coaches. Macon County up there in Lafayette has had some luck, and they get Seth Carlisle. He had a pick six and a couple of rushing touchdowns. Big night for him. He had all the scores. Seth Carlisle for Macon County.
And that makes Macon County 6-1.
6-1. So 6-1 wins 6-1 for Macon County. Just a huge night, a lot of comeback wins. Tullahoma holds Lawrence County scoreless in the second half. They get a win, and it was just a huge night. Our scoreboard will be updated when we go off the air. We've got one score left, and then there's one game tomorrow night. We'll also have interviews from tonight, features all weekend long, and we'll try to do a little bit better. The executive producer and the fill-in scoreboard producer, great job this week.
Eric's coming back.
Last 2 weeks is Rob Clutter. Director and engineer is Brian Markham. The telephone and stream producer is Will Davis. The scoreboard host is on vacation. He's Eric Keith, but he will be back. And I'm Dennis Weaver. Thank you for listening to this edition of Friday Night Thunder. We apologize to those that couldn't get through on the very busy Gilly Crane hotlines. We want to remind you to check out our website for information all weekend long. We'll have features and uploads at FridayNightThunder.com. Also, our YouTube channel will be updated with interviews a little later on. Until we meet again, I hope your team won tonight, and if it didn't, I hope they win next week. Have a wonderful weekend and a very pleasant good evening.